People are always trying to learn more about the life of their distant ancestors, to understand the rules that governed the very first settlements on Earth. This is what many specialists working on the restoration of ancient items are doing today. They recreate pictures from the life of the ancient communities based on various artifacts and rock paintings. It might seem that there's nothing complicated about it. However, some discoveries are actually rather frightening and shocking. All over the world, archaeologists come across images that depict things like people flying dragons, communicating with aliens, or even drawings of what resembles nuclear weapons. All this defies logic and common sense. However, the more mysterious the find, the more interesting it is to us. This strange object, resembling a cabbage that was raised from the wreckage of the Archangel Raphael ship in 2020, is actually a book. This valuable item of a rather impressive size remained almost intact, but it is yet to be determined what kind of book it is. Its pages are heavily soiled with lard, grease, and tar, and are swollen from seawater, and haven't yet given away their secrets. The book has been preserved in its entirety. It has more than 1,000 pages. The paper is swollen, so the book is completely open because of this. It will, of course, require a very careful and thoughtful approach to restoration. We will work with the paper restoration specialists from the Graybar Art Conservation Center. There are several methods that have already been developed, but every item is different and requires an individual approach. This book has a leather cover, and under the cover it has a backing, most likely made of wood veneer. All these parts will have to be dried, disassembled, and dealt with separately from the book itself. The book will certainly be readable, says Roman Prokhorov, restorer and archaeologist of the Underwater Research Center of the Russian Geographical Society. Thus they came to the stars, reads the inscription on the title page of the Royal Swedish Mathematical Almanac of 1698. Unfortunately, only 3 pages of this edition have survived. This is another find of the past year, and it has already gone through a number of stages of restoration. The pieces of paper are quite readable, Gothic font, Old German language. The other 2 pages have a calendar with holidays painted on it. Each day has a zodiac sign drawn for it. Some lines are marked in red. The fragment of the book was found near the chart house. Perhaps the navigator, who was supposed to know about the course of the heavenly bodies, was also no stranger to astronomical mathematics. And during those years, it was very closely related to astrology. Last year, it was the Psalter, which has already become famous 3 years ago. Fragments of the Bible, 50 pages. They were found around the sailors' quarters. Religious reading, apparently, was a characteristic of those who made their way along the sea waves. It's possible that there was also a chaplain on the ship who owned those books. Roman Prokhorov notes, there's also another find. It's a couple of pages, even fragments of sheets, that we found 2 years ago. When we translated the text, it became clear that it was some kind of historical description of the capture of Vienna by the Turks in the 16th century. That is, those people could read. And judging by the number of printed artifacts, the crew of the Archangel Raphael was literate, and now we'll get to use those books and fragments that we found to establish what exactly the navigators at the beginning of the 18th century read.